happy here already. I've vowed not to do this gormless face that I do at the start of webinars. So just need to check whether I'm live or not. And I might be in like a few hours, but it's like beaming stuff back from the moon, really. But am I live? Or am I not live? Oh gosh, I am live. Hello. Hello. If you're watching, please can you say hello? Because I mean, it might just be me at the moment, and I'd really, really love to hear from you. Angela! I love you, Angela. I do. Hello. Good morning. Yeah, more or less, it's, yeah, good morning to you. How are you doing anyway? So this sort of thing is very much like when you watch, I mean, even now in like the satellite age, you watch programs where they have satellite link-ups and you would expect everything to be really immediate. It just isn't, is it? It's still this somebody looking really behind the game. But I'm just going to wait for a couple of minutes. But if please say hello in the thread and just, yep, tell me where you're from. That'd be brilliant. Jeannie, hello. Oh, thank you for saying hello. Where are you? Where are you from? Oh, Virginia. I know VA is Virginia. Oh no, Angela says she's having a hard time hearing me. Ah, gosh. Let me see. Can you hear this any better? Oh, hello Jeannie from New York. Fantastic. Oh, I'm worried that you can't hear me now. Oh, I can't hear anything. Oh, that's bad. Let me see. I'm so sorry about this. Oh, Lisa's. Oh, there's a few people hear me. Some people are hearing me and some people aren't. I just wonder if I can just beam out like telepathic messages. Frantic. Or can now? Has it improved or not? Sarah can hear me now. Oh gosh, I didn't expect. I'm so sorry, everyone. Hello, Brian. Gosh, there's so many ways it can go wrong. I don't know what to do. Anyway, we are getting to 4 minutes past 7 now. What was that? Hello, Angela Hollingsworth. Oh, the sound was switched off. Hello, Kate. Is the sound switched off now, though? Is it all right? Found headphones. Okay, that's brilliant. I'm really glad to hear that. So I think everyone can hear me now, can they? I hope so. Oh, brilliant. That's good. That's good. That's good. So, yeah, I'm here for this presentation on the... hello from Michigan. Hello, Carrie. So, yeah, oh, that's so nice to hear that you can hear me. Okay, so, oh, it's very quiet though. I'm very loud as a person, so do I just need to shout louder, like, ah? I don't don't know. No idea. Oh gosh, I might have to shout. Right, okay, like Brian Blessed, I'm going to just shout. Anyway, I've had a bit of a trouble today getting the hang of this presentation type thing, but hopefully it will all make sense shortly. And I'm here to share my 5 top tips for customizing your designs on, well, for Cricut designs, sorry, customizing designs for the Cricut and probably sometimes outside design space. And anyway, I'm going to begin by, right, please forgive me if any of this goes wrong. And look, another thing is, we are actually going to have live crafting today, and I mean, who knows, I don't even know if my insurance will cover if it goes really horribly wrong, but I'm going to just carry on anyway. So, alright, so, no, sorry, I can't, right, the thing is, when I go to full screen, I cannot see what I'm telling you about, right? So I'm just going to trust in you. Like, I remember Angela last week told me, you're not full screen, and look, I can't see what I'm doing, to be honest. So, right, I'm just going to try this again. Oh no, I'm so sorry. This is hello, Wendy. You know, sorry, every time I was at work and people did demonstrations, sorry, any sort of presentation or anything, it never worked first time, and I didn't realise how traumatic that was until now. Okay, nearly ready, nearly ready. Okay, so I'm going to start this presentation, but you know, please let me know if anything's going wrong, and I will just look at the screen. Should I be able to access the? Sorry, what was that? See. Oh gosh, I'm so behind on these messages. Look, if I don't get to your messages now, I will get to them, but I am just going to start, okay? Because I think I've messed around for long enough. If people have been waiting, then I just really need to get going. So, Devon. Oh, in Tampa, Florida, Mary cannot really hear me. Oh gosh, you know, it's very rare that I need to shout because I'm quite noisy. So anyway, I'm just going to carry on, and look, if you've got any problems at all, just contact me after this and I'll figure them out. So, but I'm just going to start playing this, okay? Sorry, I'm just so so slow with all this technology. Okay. Hello, Lisa. Right, so this is the top 5 tips for creating custom designs with your Cricut. And that's the pop-up cards on the left-hand side that we're going to make today, if you want to. And this is me. I run Craftagogo.com, and I teach people how to use and design for Cricut and silhouette machines. And I'm a full-time creative, and I've been trying to do that for a long time, so it's really great to be able to do that now. Before we start, if you could turn off your phone and close any other tabs and any distractions, that would be really, really brilliant, so that you get the most out of the course. And if you have any questions or want to connect during or after the webinar, use the hashtag #CuttingMachineMagic, and I promise I will get the hang of this hashtag thing. Alright, and also stay tuned because there is a special offer for anyone that stays till the end. So tell me in the chat if you can hear me. I think a lot of people are struggling to hear me until they get to headphones. I mean, I don't know why that is, but anyway, have you ever wanted to just get your Cricut to do what you want it to do every time? And do you want to design and make original projects on your Cricut, meaning that you're free to sell as many items you want, as many items as you want, or even the files to make them? And also, if you can tell me in the chat why you feel like you haven't taken complete control over your Cricut yet. Does this sound like you? You want to be able to make whatever you want with your Cricut, but you get stuck. So I'm looking that way, I don't know why. Sorry, I've done this so much. You've watched endless YouTube videos and played around with Inkscape or Illustrator, but nothing worked. And you wish you could just get the hang of the process and bring all of your amazing project ideas to life. Well, I mean, I've certainly been that person, but what you'll learn today is which software to use, how to use basic design forms to make like endless amount of new designs, where to get great design assets, how to use fonts outside design space because it's much easier, sorry that was a hint, and how to customize things using print and cut. So before we start, I want to share my story with you quickly so you know how I got here and learned all this stuff. 10 years ago, I was an editor at the BBC, which is like Britain's Broadcasting Corporation. And that's me with my friend in television centre. But while I was an editor, and it was creative, but it wasn't, I mean, I think that if you're a crafty person, you just want to create more things, don't you? You want to design your own things. And I still yearned to make and design things. And I did find ways around that. I did like really random things. I made William and Kate for the BBC homepage. I mean, this was on the homepage of the BBC the day that Prince William and Kate Middleton got married. And you can see it was a design. Before that, it was like there was a debate between, there were two outfits that Prince William could have worn. One of them was like a nice red jacket, and one of them was like, it looked a bit like a postman's outfit. And most people thought he was going to wear the postman looking outfit, which I crocheted. He actually wore the nice red jacket, so that was really heartbreaking when that appeared. But anyway, I did crochet those figures that were on the BBC homepage, and I also I made this like sewing patterns for BBC. Yeah, for BBC. Sorry, I was looking at the messages. Yeah, I made sewing patterns for the Great British Sewing Bee Online, and so I was always trying to find new ways of being like doing this creative thing in my job as it was then. And wait a minute, sorry. Yeah, a few things stood in the way of me being creative full time, and you might know this too. First of all, time. You know, you could. You know, even if you sell something, it's like you have to make it again and again and again. And I remember I had this idea that I was going to sell like I was going to sell dresses and things like that. And then I realised that making dresses was really time consuming. So then it was like I was going to make dresses for toddlers, but even that, I couldn't scale that up enough. So time was really difficult because you are competing with like workshops all across the world, and that's really, really difficult. The second thing was the need to be novel. It's really hard to stand out in a market where there's just so many choices, and yeah, I really, really struggle with that too. The next thing I struggle with, because I was trying to design these new things, was the technology. I'm not a tech person by any means. As you'll probably see throughout this webinar, yeah, there's been failures already, and there's going to be more probably. But you know, I tried to learn software and I just couldn't do it. And I would just click and click and click, and nothing would happen. But what happened is I persevered, and the big turning point for me was, oddly, right, I was more captivated by things I wanted to make and design myself. And at that time, it was I really just wanted to sew. I wanted to make just like mad 60s dresses that I couldn't buy myself. And then I wanted to make sewing patterns for those. And but I couldn't get anywhere because when I tried to learn Illustrator, it's just really overwhelming. There's just so many choices, and sorry, the people who are teaching Illustrator, they were not focused on what I wanted to learn. It was just like, oh no, Nana Nina, can I bring the mic close? Can you hear me now? Oh, I don't know what's happening there. Maybe that? Is that any better? Oh, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to shout a bit more. Oh gosh. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh no, this is terrible. Oh, I don't know what to do about this. The audio is fine if you have a headset. Oh, so if you've got a headset, it seems to be all right, but oh no. Oh gosh. So some people can hear me, but other. Okay. All right. Well, just keep my fingers crossed. But if you can't understand anything I'm saying, well, you will. Or is that any better? Okay. Right, I'll just keep going. Hopefully that's all right. I was just going to say, please drop me a line if you can't understand any of it, but you won't understand that either if I'm not loud enough. But anyway, okay, I'll go back to the slides, which was, the thing that made me learn was I wanted to make sewing patterns. Oh, great, Mary. Yeah, I wanted to make sewing patterns, and it's like nowadays, like people are so varied in sizes, like tiny people and very large people. It's like you have to make so many different sizes to like make a sewing pattern. You have to really resize it, and it's really niche. And what made the difference for me is that I found a course with a really brilliant person who taught people how to make sewing patterns, and it was really great because I zoned in on exactly the skills that I needed to use rather than just doing all sorts. Like if you go into Illustrator or Inkscape, you might be bewildered by all of the things that you see. And this course that I did, the sewing course, it just narrowed it down for me. And but then something else happened which changed everything. I mean, I did find it really grueling doing all those different sizes in this vector software. The magical thing that happened is I discovered the Cricut Maker, and probably a long time after you did. I couldn't believe it. This machine that just cuts anything out, it's amazing. And then I really went to town. I just could not stop making stuff. And when I first got my machine, I just couldn't sleep. I mean, maybe I should be embarrassed by that, but I couldn't. And then it got better because I had these skills with Illustrator and Inkscape. I could design my own original stuff, and then I could sell those designs on Etsy. Now, I know not everyone wants to do that, but what's brilliant about that is that you've designed some right. If you make a product for somebody, like say somebody asks you to make what would they ask you to make? If they ask you to make a T-shirt design or something, and that's really great, but you have to have the materials, you have to have it in stock, the T-shirt, and then you have to spend your time making this thing. But the thing that made a real difference for me was you design the thing once, and then if you sell it as a digital file, you don't have to design it again. You just sell it again and again and again, and it's just, it really is magic, and it's like it really does open you. It's like, sorry, when I'm looking at this slide, it says it got better. That's like my homepage, and this shop hasn't been going that long, but so you can just about see these stick figures here, and it's like you could design one file and just make thousands of dollars or pounds just out of one file. Sorry, I'm going to stay close to the mic. Is that any better? Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so what I was... Oh, I'm out of the ring. Oh gosh, I hope you can hear me. Yeah. The thing that was really amazing for me is the fact that you could sell digital products. The thing about digital products is you do them once and you sell them again and again. So that's just another thing that you can do if you can sort of get out of Design Space, because in Design Space, I mean, I really like Design Space. I think it's great for what it's meant for. But hello, Catherine. Yeah, Design Space is great for what it's meant for, but you can't share your designs outside Design Space and you can't sell them. And so anyway, the fact that I knew how to use Illustrator and Inkscape was really a positive thing. So even better than that, I felt creatively free finally. I always felt as if I should have studied art stuff, and I didn't. I did history. Why did I do history? Maybe you can tell me, I've got no idea. But anyway, once I got my Cricut and I had this, these Illustrator and Inkscape skills from this pattern design stuff, I felt just like anything was possible. So, oh God, yeah. I shouldn't look so surprised by what comes up in my spreadsheet, but this photo, I'm not sure why I keep including this photograph. I work for myself doing crafty stuff and I'm pretending to talk on the phone in this photo. Yeah, it is embarrassing really. But yeah, let's just carry on then. Okay, this is Catherine who, when she got her Cricut, she was bamboozled by the possibilities. And making her ideas come to life was made much easier by Natalie, that's me, by Natalie's mentoring and expertise. So imagine that feeling when you can make all your creative ideas come to life. So where do we start? Oh gosh, oh no, sorry, I've been primed for this particular slide. You can see that it's in bright red just to alert me to a couple of things, right? I need to get out of this this spreadsheet mode and into, oh gosh, sounding good. Right, this is, I don't want to scare you, but this is really, really edge of your seat crafting stuff now. Oh gosh, it's me, right, okay. Now I need to move a few things around because we are going to, no actually, we're going to go back into, right, I'm using Adobe Illustrator today, right, but you can do exactly this in Inkscape, and I'm going to show you how to do this. But what I want to do is, like, we are looking at creating a pop twist card. And the template that you've got, because you attended this webinar, is the, it's just like, it's a template for a pop twist card. But you can just customize it for any occasion, right? But I'm going to, right, I'll show you the one. I mean, you will have seen this if you went to the, well, if you signed up, you will have seen the, it's just, wait a minute, it's the wrong way. I've got to get used to this camera thing, okay? Happy birthday, and then you go like this. And it's just, it just moves so much. So, I want to show you how I made that, but also, there's like the five principles that we were going to go through, the 5 top tips, is the first one was the right software to use. And the right software to use is, well, really, you should think about going beyond Design Space and using third-party software. And my favourite is Illustrator, but you don't have to use Illustrator. You can use Inkscape, and in Inkscape's favour, it is free. And what I would recommend is, if you just really want to learn this stuff, Inkscape is a great way of learning all these sort of graphic design principles. And then, once you've got used to Inkscape, you can use, if you've got a bit of time free for a month or whatever, I really would recommend using Illustrator, just getting the most out of your Illustrator free trial. And, you know, I probably shouldn't say this, but I did use so many Illustrator free trials when I was getting the hang of it. And, right, but it's so funny. It's like there are pros and cons of using both Inkscape and Illustrator, and they've both got bugs like just that you wouldn't expect. So it's really good to have access to both. But if you're not ready to invest in Illustrator yet, I would say use your free trial when you've got time free. But then while you've got that free trial going, just make as many files as you can and just get the hang of it. Do all the things that don't quite work in Inkscape. You see, I find importing images into Inkscape is problematic. They sometimes come in blurred, but with both of those pieces of software, I find that I can get around those problems. Anyway, having said all that, right, so the first thing was which software to use, and I'm saying both. And there are other things as well. You know, there are other software, pieces of software too. I think a lot of people use CorelDRAW, for example. And but today I'm just going to focus on Illustrator. Actually, I'm using Illustrator, but I'm going to tell you how you can do this with Inkscape too. And if you have any problems at all with it, if I'm not clear enough, please just send me an email or message or whatever, and I will get back to you, because honestly, you can crack this, right? So, right, I'm going to open Illustrator. This transition stuff with this screen is just, right, okay. Now, I'm going to Illustrator. Don't be too scared. Right, okay. We're in Illustrator now, right? And I've opened the file that you've got access to now. And it might not look very exciting, but this is the Pop Twist card. You know the one that I was talking to you about, the one that goes like this? If you can see me in the corner, it's the one that pops out like this. And you can customise it for any occasion. Right, at the moment, this particular template is set so that you can make a 4-letter word. And I hesitate to do. I've got a friend that makes like great amount of money selling mugs and bags and all sorts of things with rude words on, which are generally 4 letters. I'm not suggesting you do that. That would be wrong. But anyway, what we want to do it right. So my card has got. So I'm just showing you this so that you know how to use. I mean, if you were doing it for a new baby or something, you could. Oh, wait a minute. If you were doing this for a new baby, you could make the letters say baby. You know, you could make them say all sorts of things. But you can quite easily, if you know how to do it, you can make the words longer and you can make them have graphics in. The thing is, it's just this huge pop-out thing really works. So anyway, so I'm just going to work today with this this 4-letter template. And to personalise that, right, I've got this pink tile here, and what I want to do is I want to sort of punch letters out of it. My design is going to be punched out of like rose gold vinyl. I'm going to cut small tiles with the letters cut out, and that will personalise the card. Okay. To do that, I need to go into text, the type tool, which is very similar to the text tool in Design Space. But it's much better. Honestly, it's so much easier. I think that it's easy to be put off this sort of software because you're intimidated. Like, because if you look at all of these things in the left-hand margin, there's just too many, and you need to know exactly what to focus on. And that's exactly what I was like on my sewing course. I was really overwhelmed, but on the sewing course, they told me exactly which ones were relevant to me. And this is one of them, this type tool on the left, right? So I'll click on this type tool and then click on the canvas, and then it's absolutely tiny. So I'll click on it again, and in this right hand side here, I'm going to change the size of the font to, just so I can see it, I'll change it to 72. And it gives you this sort of placeholder text, which is Lorem Ipsum. And because I'm doing this happy birthday to you card, I want a letter Y. And right, now that I've typed that, I'm going to click on this select tool in the top left here. and then click on this, the actual letter. And then I can go into character here again. I can make this much larger because I do want it to be much larger. If I cut this Y out of this, it wouldn't, it wouldn't work at all, would it? So, no, actually, sorry, before that, I'm going to change it to a font that I think will work because this one is a bit formal for what we're doing. So, I'm going to change this to, yeah, you can see I've tried it before, Pelmeshka, which is a Creative Fabrica font. And I'm just going to resize this by clicking on it and dragging it. And then that's slightly too large for this. Just need to make it slightly smaller. I think that's about right, okay. But I need to have to cover this, all of this template, right? I need 4 tiles, don't I? So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on Command and C and Command and V, which if you're using a PC, it would be Control and V, Control and C and Control and V. And then, right, if you create anything in Inkscape or Illustrator that's got text in it, that oh, Wendy, I'm going to tell you shortly where to find the file. Yeah, sorry, I'll tell you very shortly. But I'm just going to finish this first, and I will not forget where it is. So this, we've got this letter Y, and oh gosh, it's disappeared because it's behind this. Right, if you were to import this into Design Space now, it would say text elements not recognised because this is, you can't import text into Design Space. What you need to do is convert it to outlines. But I want all of the text I create to be the same size, so I'm going to click on this Y and I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to double click, and then I'm going to create an O because remember I'm typing U. I'm not sure if this is. Don't worry, Amy. I'm going to share the file. It's craftagogo.com /pop twist, all one word. And okay, so that's about the right size to fit on the tile. And then okay, I'll copy that too. And then I'm going to click on the U. And then the other thing was, because I've got 4 letters, I've got room for an exclamation mark. So I'm going to double click on that. And then I'm going to click on the exclamation mark. Now, I do need, right, as I said before, this is all text currently, so you can't import it into Design Space as it is. You have to make it into outlines or it won't recognise it. And to do that, what I'll need to do is I select them all by left clicking and dragging over the whole thing, and then I go to type, and then I go to create outlines. Now you can see if you zoom in, look, it used to have a line underneath. Sarah says, can this be done in Design Space? No, we're creating a file here that we can import into Design Space. You don't have to do this in Illustrator. I'm just showing you this for ease. And I'll also tell you exactly, well, I'm going to tell you now exactly. If you want to do this in Inkscape, which is free software, all you need to do is select a letter and go to Path and Object to Path. But if you struggle with this at all, please let me know and I will just show you exactly how to do it. It's so easy, honestly, because you sort of have to do that. You have to sort of get out of Design Space if you want to create your own unique patterns. So anyway, now that these letters are all outlines, I can use them as sort of hole punches for these tiles. And I want 4 tiles, so I'm just going to click and drag over this, Control and C and Control and V, or Command and C and Command and V. Then I'm going to move this Y so it's right on top of this tile. I'll do the same with the O. I'll do the same with the U. Oh no, it's at the back, right? So you'll notice if you've used Design Space, this thing of move forward. Right, the U is there, but we can't see it. So we need to click on, at the top, Object, where is it? Arrange, bring to front. There we go. We'll probably have to do the same with this exclamation mark. Object, arrange, bring to front, yeah. Sorry, object, arrange, bring to front. Okay, so now that I've done this, I want this Y to be punched out of this tile shape, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this tool here, I'm going to click on the selection tool, I'm going to left click and drag over this Y. Then I need to go to Window and ensure that the Pathfinder tool comes up. The Pathfinder tool is already there in the right hand side, you can see it, look, it's got, this won't make much sense at first, but honestly it'll just transform your crafting, right? So while both these are selected, I need to click on minus front, and look at that, it's just punched the Y out and it's perfect. You probably know this is the function that in Design Space they call it slice, and then when you do it in Design Space you have to pull all the pieces away, and of course you can't sell or share the file in Design Space if you do it. But now we've got our Y, so now we've got to do the same thing with all the other letters, which is left click and drag over them, click on minus front, and if you're using Inkscape, the tool you use for this is Path and Difference. But again, if you have any questions at all about Inkscape or Illustrator, I'm so happy to answer them, because honestly, once you've done this, you will really, really get the hang of it in no time. So I'm doing the same with the U. I'm clicking and dragging over the whole thing, and then I'm clicking minus front, and I just punch this U out of it. And I'm going to punch this out of that too. So that's changed that from being something that was just on top of the thing to be cut, to being cut out from a larger shape. And now that I've done that, I can drag this onto this template that we've got. Remember, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you can see him in the screen at the bottom left. Remember this pop out thing here? We want the Y to be cut out and the O to be cut out. We've just created tiles for all of this. And now it's so easy to create any tile at all, any image or alphabet or anything from this tile shape. So I'm just going to show you what it will look like. I mean, this won't affect how it turns out, but look. See, it doesn't matter how it's positioned, because we're going to cut it out in Design Space anyway. And okay, so the first thing I wanted to say was the right design software to use. The second thing I wanted to look at was how to use basic design forms, and this is just like a basic pop twist card. There are so many amazing pop-up card templates that have been going for ages, but like, you can't make them so much on the Cricut or on your cutting machine. But once you've got access to them, you can make cards for any occasion with these templates. So that's tip 2, just get the hang of these templates and you will be able to make so many different types of designs. So my third tip is where to get great design assets from. And for this card, I am going to use, wait a minute, I'll just open a new tab. Right, I highly recommend using Creative Fabrica, okay? If you're going to create your own designs, the brilliant thing about Creative Fabrica is that whether you're using a font or graphics or anything, the commercial license is really, really generous. They offer absolutely loads of freebies. But anyway, even if you're paying, like, you might pay $1 for a font, you might pay $15 for a font or images or something. But the point is, if you use this, you can create your own design with it. I know that it's tempting to use DaFont and Font Squirrel, and other things. And, you know, I'd use them too for personal use, that's really great. But Creative Fabrica and Font Bundles too, they're both really good for finding unique fonts and graphics that you can use in your own designs. And actually, the font I used earlier is called Pelmeshka, and that's a Creative Fabrica font, and it's currently free. So if you like that, I recommend you download it. I really like that font because it's sort of formal but sort of quirky. So anyway, to customize this card further, I want to go to Creative Fabrica and Graphics. Wait a minute, no, I want to go to Freebies, And okay, you can see lots of you can see lots of free assets, you know. But the thing that I want is I want graphics. I'm going to click on that. There's like 2 pages of graphics, and you can use them all. But the one that I find I've been using quite a bit is this 100 cute emojis here. And I think this fits in well with my cards. I just want to say happy birthday. This is just like a small amount of these emojis. But if you just sign up to Creative Fabrica, you'll get like all of the freebies. And this is one of those freebies. And well, I certainly want to use this sort of ice cream graphic here. And there's another one that I'm going to use. But that was tip 3 to get where to get the best creative assets from. I really, really recommend using sites like Creative Fabrica and Font Bundles, because you can use those designs, whether you pay for them or not, you can use those designs and not worry about, you know, you don't have to worry about copyright or anything, and the designer gets paid too, which is good. So anyway, sorry, I want to go back now to, beforehand I had gone into my free emojis and downloaded a couple of images from this, and I'm going to, my first thing is hold on, sorry, I've completely missed out tip 4, which was how to use fonts outside Design Space. Now this is a huge advantage of using third-party software. If you go into Design Space, if you're only familiar with Design Space, you will know what a trial it is when you import text, and you have to move all the characters together, and you're never quite sure whether it's correct. For that reason, I'm going to show you how to create this text in Illustrator, and it's so similar in Inkscape too. But again, if you need to know how to do this, let me know. Right, so I click on the Type tool on the left, click on the canvas, it gives me this placeholder text, Lauren Ipsum. I'm going to double click on that, and then I'm going to type happy, and then I think I'll create another one, which is birthday. Alright, so then I'll just type happy birthday. Then I'll just click on this arrow at the top left, click on that and click on that, and then wait a minute, sorry, I've lost track of my windows. Yeah, I just needed to center them in a line, but it doesn't look quite right, so I'm going to move this slightly to the left. Now, the card I'm going to put this on is this one here, right? So I'll take that away. Right, if I click and drag over these two, you can see that's a bit small. I'm just going to make it slightly larger by looking at the bottom right hand margin and just clicking Shift so that it's in proportion and just making it slightly larger. And that's just the right size for this card, okay? So I'm going to drag this out again. And if you remember what I said, in the second point, no, it wasn't the second point, not that long ago, okay, you can import text into Design Space as it is. You have to convert it into outlines. And it's the same with this happy birthday. So with this selected, I'm going to, again, go to the top margin, the type. I'm going to go to create outlines. Now look at it at the moment, it's got lines underneath each word. And then if I go to type, create outlines, look, if I zoom in, you can see that it's got like blue lines around the outside. And that means that Design Space will cut this out now. So I am going to, but I need to group this, right? I'll go to Object and Group, otherwise the letters might be scattered around the place. The other thing I want to do is, I just want to type to. Like, it's going to be happy birthday to you. So I'm going to type text again and then click on the canvas. And I want a different font for this. I think I want like a sort of handwritten, a script type font just for contrast. I'm going to go for July the 7th, okay? again, I'm going to, this is text, I need to go type, create outlines, and I want it to be on this little tag here, so I'm going to left click and drag it so that it's small enough to be on this. Oh, no, that was bad, wasn't it? I'm going to click on this square here, which will turn it white. This doesn't really affect things, it's just, I'll make it stand out from the background, okay? So then I need to just, actually I need to go to Window, Pathfinder, to join it all together as one piece, and then I'll just drag it over here. And then, so now we've got Happy Birthday to You. And this is ready to bring into Design Space. And this is what you'll do if you make your own file. It's like you have to save it ready for Design Space. Or you can save it for Silhouette or any other thing. But the main thing that you want to, as a user of Cricut, is to save it as an SVG. So then I'm going to go to File, Save As, SVG, right? So this is called Pop Twist Template. I'm going to save it on my desktop so I can find it. Okay. Then I'm going to go into, can we see Cricut Design Space? I'll just enlarge this. Alright, so in Cricut Design Space, now that we've created this file, we can upload it. So we go to, look, you can see I've done a lot of tests. Upload image, and we go to Browse. And then we bring our Pop Twist template in, okay? Alright, you can see our pieces are there. So I just need to save this. And then I'll click on this again and I'll put Insert Images. And there these pieces are on the canvas, okay? Now, the first thing you usually need to do when you bring anything into Design Space is ungroup it, because it's just all linked together usually. Certainly if you create it outside Design Space. So I'm going to ungroup this, okay? There are still other things that are grouped, right? And I'm probably going to ungroup these as I go along, right? So I keep saying right, I'm so sorry about that. Right, these forms are, right, they keep saying right. Sorry, I'm going to stop. This is the interior of the card, okay? And this is the exterior. The line down the middle needs to be scored, because if we cut it in Design Space, we're going to end up with two separate bits, and that's not good. And it's the same with this outside piece, right? So I'm going to click on this and click on Group. I'll click on the exterior of the card and click on Group 2. Now that I've done this, I can select these lines that are down the middle, and using this line type piece at the top, I need to just zoom in a bit, I think. Yeah. With this selected, I can go to line type at the top, and with the drop down, I need to go to score. And when I go to score, I end up with this dotted line, and that's exactly what we want. We want a score line down the middle of the card. And I need to do the same with this other piece, which is the outside of the card. So, where it says score, not that one, this one. Hold on, yeah, that's it. With that line down the middle selected, I need to go to line type at the top and click on score. There we go. So now, right, these are the two outside pieces of the card. You know, you want the basic thing of the card that opens and shuts. And joy, yes, it will. Right, so I keep saying, right, look, can anybody figure out how I can administer some sort of shock that stops me saying that? While I'm using these pieces of card, I want these score lines to be attached to those pieces. So I need to left click and drag over this outside piece. Then in the right hand margin, I need to click on attach. So now that will print this card out and do a score line down the middle. I'm not going to do this inside piece because we haven't finished with it yet, and I'll show you why shortly. In this piece here, we need to click on Ungroup. And then the score lines in this, anything that isn't the outside is a score line. So with all of these inside, each going one by one, I'm going to select these lines on the inside, click on them, and then I'm going to choose line type at the top and then click on score. Look, it's dotted again. But both of these diagonal lines need to be scored as well. So I'll click on that and click on line type at the top, click on score. The same one here. Yeah, I don't know if it's the right one. Yep, click on that too. Oh, it's set as score. Gosh, it's hard to get the right one. If you can't, Design Space, it's hard sometimes to select something really precisely. And if you have trouble doing that, I recommend that you go to the right hand margin. And I'm finding it really hard to select this diagonal line here, the one that isn't dotted. So I am actually going to choose it from the right hand margin here. If I click on the diagonal line there that says cut, I want to turn this into score. So I'll go to line type at the top and click on score. And there we go, that's a dotted line too. Sorry, sorry, I've gone on for such a long time. Are you still here? I hope so. Anyway, please say hello if you're still here. Right, so I'm going to left click and drag. I'll just need to check this first. Yeah. Now that I've got all of these score lines in place, I need to left click and drag over this piece, and then I click on attach. And now what's going to happen is this piece will be, it will be scored down these lines, and it will be cut round the outside. And the same with this piece too. Hello, Lisa. Oh, good. Oh, thank you. Oh, God, what a relief. Okay, so, right, now I'm back on this piece here, this longer piece that's got, oh God, I've got renewed energy now. Brilliant. So, now, yeah, now I've got this, this piece here that's got these lines here inside the, right, the outside line needs to be cut, but the inside doesn't. The inside needs to be score lines. So I need to ungroup this again, and I need to select these three lines, and I'll do that by clicking on one, and I shift click on the other two. Then I go to line type at the top, and from the drop down I click on, from cut, I change it to score. Again, if you struggle doing this, you can always select them in the right hand margin, okay? But when I select score, you can see it turns it into a dotted line. Now I just need to left click and drag over the whole thing and attach. Now this is going to cut this piece out, that everything's cut out as we want, except, oh gosh, I haven't imported the right version. I need to admit, when I saved this, when I punched the letters out of the original piece, I didn't actually save them. I've imported an earlier version of the file here, so now I'm going to import the file that I made. I'll just make sure. Let me go back into Illustrator. Okay. Right, I'll just need to, I'm just going to import this. I'm going to need to get rid of a lot of it actually, but oh no, what's happened there? I'm so sorry about this. Right, okay. I'm going to upload my image as it should have been. Okay, browse. No, that isn't the one that we've just saved. So I want the version that we just saved. Where is it? Upload. Yeah, I don't know why this isn't quite saving as we want it to. How annoying is that? Thank you. sorry, I mean, you know, this is like another moment like last week's thank you card. But, right, well, this, for some reason, I can't access the file that I've created here, but you know how we punch these letters out of this. And what will happen when you import, when you've done this and then you import it, it will give you these tiles to print out. And then, Lisa's at the doctor's office. Okay, but this is like a mystery. I don't know why this isn't saving as it should. What if I save it as, yeah. Okay. So I'll just try this again, just see if this last thing works. Check my desktop. It's on my desktop. Ah! Why, sorry, hey, I thought I was doing the webinar and you've saved everything. Why? Thank you. So I'm so embarrassed. Okay, so I'm save this. Thank you, everyone. Oh gosh, yeah, it was on my desktop all the time. And I was the last to know. So, right, I'm going to bring this in and it'll bring everything in. I'm just going to slide this down the screen a bit. I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to delete everything apart from the tiles that I created, okay? And the 2, because, sorry. Anything that isn't lettered, right, so I'll delete the background of this. So I want these tiles, then I want this 2, and I want this happy birthday. Okay, so they're all still the right size, I hope. Let me see if I slide that on top of it. Yep, they're all still the same size. Now I can delete these versions here. But the last thing is, right, which was the customising using print and cut. I wanted to use the assets that I remember the... Oh, thank you, Carrie, you're very kind. Yes, Amy, the video will be available. So now that we've got this far, gosh, I'm going to have a sip of water. So, right, we wanted to bring in the asset. Remember, we had these emojis that we brought in free from Creative Fabrica. And to bring those in too, I want these to be on the desktop. So then I go to upload again. And look, you can see I've brought them in previously, but I'll just upload them anyway. And I think they were, yeah, they were smiley ice cream, JPEG. So to do that, I click on that, bring it in as complex, continue. Then I'll click on this magic wand and remove the background by just clicking on it. It's magic. And I go to continue. I want to save this as a print and cut image, because if I save it as a cut image, it will just be like an outline, which is pointless really. So I click on this, save as a print and cut, and then click on save. Okay. Then it appears here yet again, and I'll click on insert images. So it's quite large, but it's, you know, it's what we wanted. And now I'm going to do the same, but with the other image, which is called Explode Gift, I think, .jpeg. So I click on that, click on complex, and click on continue. And I do the same again. I click on this magic wand here, click on the background, and then it automatically removes this background. So I click on it as a print and cut image, save, and then it brings it in too. So I click on that, click on insert images, and again it's quite large, but you know, it's exactly right. It's as we want it. I want to have this sort of at the top left. I want a small version of this. So I'm going to click on Shift and click on this bottom arrow here, and end up with like a nice little just personalised thing here. And then I want the same with the ice cream. I want this sort of in the bottom right. It's just like a cute image that we've got free online. And I just want like a nice little ice cream here. Bearing in mind that you could like use it on any of these sites like Creative Fabric and Font Bundles. You could get so many different types of graphics, and this is just emojis that I happen to find on one particular day. So I like that. But I also want remember, I've got happy birthday on the outside, and I want happy birthday to, and then the open is you. So I need to click on this to that I created. I'm going to move this to the top of the screen. Now at the moment, if I sent this, what I want this to print and cut. I want it to be the inside of a card that's printed and is just cut out as a rectangle with a score line across the middle. But at the moment, Print and Cut will print them and cut around the outside as if they were stickers. And that's fine if you want to apply them as stickers, but I really don't. I want them to be on this rectangular card. So what I need to do here is, right, you can go wrong if you haven't ungrouped everything, right? If you find that this doesn't work, you just need to keep ungrouping, because what we need to do is left click, drag over this, right? So I'm selecting the rectangle and the ice cream. And if you're in doubt about what you've selected, then just look in the right hand margin, because you'll see, look, we've got our rectangle and our ice cream selected. So with clicking like Shift and then clicking on this parcel at the top, you'll see again that now this will explode gift, as it was called. That's selected now. But I also want to select this too, which remember we wrote ourselves in Illustrator. So I'm clicking on that too. But I need to click on the background of it too. This sort of looks like a sort of cut out ribbon thing, and that's there. This bit here. If I look down a bit, God, I've called it remember, because I lost it on my desktop. So with this Shift clicked, I need to click on this too. So now I've selected the rectangle, I've selected the Explode Gift graphic, and I've selected the ice cream and the two. The thing that I haven't selected is the score line, because we don't want to select that. What we want to do, we want to flatten this, because we don't want to cut round the tiny bits, we want to cut round the rectangle, okay? So I'm going to, with all this selected, I'm going to flatten here. And now that has flattened. You can tell it's flattened because the edges have sort of disappeared. You can't see the score line because once you modify something, it comes to the front. So I need to move this to the back. And I'll do that by clicking on Arrange, Send to Back. So now we've got this thing ready to print out, which is this interior of the card. It's got printed stuff on it. It's not going to cut around these tiny bits. It's going to score across the middle and it's going to cut a rectangle, okay? To do that, I need to left click, drag over the whole thing and click on Attach. So we're nearly ready. We just need to make sure everything's together. This happy birthday needs to be attached to. It's set to cut. But if we cut it now, it will be an anagram of happy birthday. So I'm going to click on Attach for that. This is going to be over this part of the card, but it doesn't matter. We don't need to attach it to the card because it's going to be cut from a separate piece of vinyl, as are these letters here, even though they're going to be positioned on this piece here. So what we need to do really is just make sure that our score lines are connected to the pieces. So if I click on this, and I look in the right hand margin, I can see that this rectangle is connected to the score piece. I can see that on this printed bit, the score piece is working in the centre. The dotted line means it's going to cut and then it's going to score down the middle. This this sort of elaborate piece there is going to cut and score down the diagonally and across. And then this piece here, oh, actually this piece isn't ready, is it? If I left click and drag over this long piece in the middle, I need to click on attach. At the moment, it's going to cut it out separately. So I'll click on attach. Now we've modified everything we need to now. So I'm going to click on make it. And the first thing we see is this print and cut piece. That means that you will just attach your, this is just like plain white cardstock. No, first of all, when you continue, it will send it to the printer, and then you'll get your printer to print this up, and then you attach it to your cutting mat, and then your cutting mat will score across the middle and cut it. And very much like in last week's live streams, I am not going to attempt live printing and cutting because it's just too difficult, but I am going to assemble the cards. If you go through all of this process, you'll print and then you'll cut the little letters, you'll cut the background pieces, and you'll score them too. And again, if you have any difficulty at all, let me know, because I am here to help. But now I'm going to move away from my screen, if this will allow me to. Maybe it won't. Okay. So now I'm going, oh gosh, it's me again. All right. I'm going to move things around a bit, and now this is the really dangerous part. This is like live crafting, and you know, anything could go wrong. I mean, enough has gone wrong already, to be fair, but I'm going to just move things around slightly. I'll just move this here. And then the thing that I need to do is I need to move this camera just so that it focuses on my hands. Look at all these pasta cutters underneath the table. It's outrageous. For polymer clay. Right, so what I need to know again is if you can see this. You can see this, my hands and the piece. I mean, maybe not, I don't know. I'll find out in a few minutes whether you can see it or not. But what I want to show you is the pieces that we punched out earlier. Remember the Y or U exclamation mark. And this piece here that we scored, if you remember. Now this is really, really easy to attach. So look, I'll just take this off here. I'll put the Y on here like this. Oh, good. Sorry, it's so hard to do this in a live environment. It'd be more precise if I wasn't. But okay, so you can see I've attached the Y there. Oh gosh, I need to, right. This is, I'm going to use a bit of what we call masking tape, but I think in the US you call painter's tape for the middle of the O. So I'll just attach this bit here. Okay. And you know, you know, your vinyl might be, you know, you have to iron out your vinyl and stuff like that. But sorry, when I was doing this earlier, I realised that the white background wasn't any good, so I had to just quickly put some paper down. So I hope that's okay. The third piece, is the U, obviously. And given more time, I'd get it perfect, but a bit, you know, I don't want to hold you. I don't want to take forever. I don't want us to be here. Well, I don't want you to have to hang around till Christmas. So I'm going to put this exclamation mark on. So now you can see we've got this middle piece that says U. And what we need to do is when we fold it, we need to make sure that this middle bit sticks out, right? When it goes like this, we don't want it to be at the back, we want it to be at the front like this, okay? So now that I've done that, we've got this lovely, lovely elaborate piece here. The sound is very low again. Okay, I think a lot of people have had trouble with the sound, but if you can listen in headphones, it's slightly better. But I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But anyway, the other pieces, remember we have this piece. We need to fold along this line. I've done it before. I'm not cheating. I'm just, it's just hard to, it's just nerve-wracking. So anyway, so you fold across both diagonals, and then you fold across the middle line as well. And then you find that it becomes so flexible that you can bring these pieces into the middle and it becomes this sort of arrow type thing, okay? And this is your mechanism for opening the middle of the card. So what you need to do then is you need to attach, right, I hope you can see this. This you slide this into the middle of the card so that the Y is attached to this square type piece here, and on the other side this exclamation mark is attached to this square piece here, okay? And then what you'll do is, gosh, I hope this glue works. What you'll do is just apply glue. Sorry, I'm using this this sort of glue because it sticks more quickly, and I'm hoping that it will stick in time for you to see it. So can you see? I've just stuck this here like this. So that's the Y stuck to this piece. And then if I shut this again so that it looks like an arrow, this exclamation mark, I need to glue this piece here. And then I attach that like this. So then you can see, this is not in a card obviously, but you can see how, can you see how? I hope you can see how. You open it up and this happens. So what we need now is a card that we can put this mechanism inside, okay? So we have got our print and cut piece, if you remember. Remember we used these free images to, I'm so sorry about this wire hanging around from the microphone. That isn't working. Right, so this piece here, we just fold this over because this is the inside of the card. And then this is the exterior. I'll fold down, which was scored down the middle too. And so I want these to be joined up, don't I? I want that to be like this. So again, I'm just going to glue the back of this. And now if I was taking more, oh gosh. Don't worry, I've got a spare glue, but don't panic anyone, I've got a spare. Look, I would take more time over this if I wasn't doing it live. Yeah, this is not great. Sorry, I've got another one, but I'm not sure this is any better. Yeah, I mean, if you've got more time, you can apply this glue better, more accurately than I am. But when you've applied glue, you just then join the folds up so that this is on the inside. So you can see that's the outside, this is the inside. We haven't got a message on the outside yet though. But remember, we did cut this. Remember, we used Pelmeshka. Real life crafting, yeah, it is Jeannie. God, it's really, it's so extreme. It's so on the edge. It really feels like it. Thank you so much for saying that. Anyway, I don't know if you remember, I cut this from a font earlier. It was Pelmeshka font. And I've used, again, this painting tape or masking tape that I find much better than transfer tape when you're using paper. So then I will just peel the back off this. and hope that none of it stays behind. Yes. Okay. So now I can just put this on here like as happy, and then slowly peel it off. So I know I keep saying this, but if I was taking more time, it would be much more accurate. But there's my happy. That keyboard's not helping, is it really? And then we've got birthday. Alright, so you can see we've got happy birthday, and it opens and it's got this on the inside, but there's the distinct absence of a pop-up element. What we need to do, we need to get this inside, right? So we want it the right way up. We want to make sure that when it opens, it's like this, don't we? Like this. And that means that we shut it and we join this arrow so that it joins the card at exactly the centre point. So that the arrow, the pointy arrow bit goes right in the centre, okay? So I'm going to use this glue again and probably cause lots of problems. All right, I just glue this arrow and shut this card like this. Oh, thank you, Judy. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? Yeah, because this rose gold vinyl, I've really struggled to get a good use for it, and I think this, yeah, I think it's a good use. So once we've glued that side on, we just open this, and now again this arrow is pointed at the centre because we glued it on the other side, and now I just need to apply glue to the bottom of this too. Okay, and then I shut the card again, go like this, go like this, go like this, and I have to say that you know, really in the real world I'd spend more time on this, and I'm not sure whether this will work, but happy birthday to you. Ah, it does work. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So we've actually customized the file. We've printed the file up, and as I said, that glue is not the best. And you know, this live crafting is, you know, I don't advise anyone does this live crafting, to be honest. But yeah, that's it. And the point about this is that if you know all of there's so many really great basic card templates, like so many different effects, that if you just know a few of them, you can make an infinite amount of unique designs. You know, you can use different fonts, different images, just using free images and stuff, and different materials, and well, for different occasions you can make them really, really personalised. So there's absolutely tons of things that you can do if you just get the hang of these basic things. And I have to say that the pop twist card is one of my absolute favourites. Oh my gosh, we lived, we did it. So anyway, right, I'm going to try and go back to real life. Oh gosh, it's me again, I'm sorry about this. Hey. So yeah, I hope that you're all going to make this. Oh gosh, look at this mess. Yeah, and I hope you're all going to make this design, and I love to see how you get on with it as well. But I am going to go back to, if I can, I'm going to go back to my remember my presentation that was. Oh, oh, thanks so much, Karen, Angela, Carrie, and Judy. Oh, and Catherine. Thank you. Thank you. I look like I've gone through a real... Oh, thank you, Flo. Yeah, I can't believe I just... there was so much... I mean, things did go wrong, but there was so much more that could have gone wrong there. But Anyway, I'm going to go back to, remember we were talking about, oh yeah, the last thing we were saying, thank you, Lisa. That was the edge of your seat crafting action. And now I'm going to go back to, oh no, sorry, I'm just having so much trouble with this software. Wait a minute. Sorry about this. Did I make the butterflies behind me? Yes, I did, and I can show you how to do that. My cat loves this. But oh, brilliant, Sarah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just getting distracted. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Right, I'm going to go back to the screen and I can't get the hang of this software. I'm so sorry about it. So can you tell me in the chat what you would most like to be able to make with your cutting machine that you can't, well, that you struggle with at the moment? Thank you, Jeannie. It definitely was a more human approach. But it was, I feel better having gone through it, but I just hope you do as well. Phil, hello Phil. So yeah, if you tell me what you would like to make with your cutting machine that you can't at the moment. Anyway, to recap, today you learned how to create a rather splendid pop-up card, if I do say so myself, and I do. How to use Inkscape or Illustrator without going insane. Why you don't need to spend years learning graphic design software to get the results you want. You learned it's possible to create an infinite number of unique designs from classic templates. And although, we didn't create an infinite number, you can see, can't you? You could change the letters in that. But you don't need to just restrict it to letters. You can do it so that the image just falls out in 4 pieces to make a huge image. You can make a huge, you can make larger names, words if you want to. And you learnt why, if you want to get the most out of your Cricut and create your own unique, shareable, sellable designs, that's important, you need to use vector software such as Inkscape or Illustrator. Certainly if you want to get outside, that basic thing of sharing and selling your designs, but also working offline. I know that when design space goes down, it's a bit of a nightmare, and you're always going to have to be signed on to cut things out with your Cricut, but to design them, it really makes a big difference when you can just design them. And also, I've seen a lot of people panicking because they lost stuff that was in the cloud. You haven't got to worry about that if you're working in other software, you just save it. And you saw that vector software is easy to use as long as you know which functions to focus on. And I think that's what's really important. When I was talking before about when I learned to use Illustrator, it was because I really wanted to sew. And that the course I went on, it just told me just the functions I needed to make. Sewing patterns and resize sewing patterns. I didn't want to use all the other stuff that graphic designers add. Oh, thank you, Maurice. Maritza. Hi. You need the motivation to learn it, and I think that making designs on the Cricut is just a great motivation. So now you're here today because you want to own your designs, not rent them. And I love Cricut, I love Design Space, and I think Access is fantastic, but I think it's really frustrating that you could spend a lot of time modifying a design in Design Space, and then once your membership runs out, you can't do anything with it. You can't share it with anyone, you certainly can't sell it, but you can't, it's not yours really, it's just, you're just in there. You've just got to be in there and a member to be able to use these designs. It would be nice to sell designs as well as physical items. Yet, how brilliant to just create something once and then you don't have to recreate it again and again and again. You just sell the file. And so, but you have to use this other software to do that, but it isn't that difficult. You want the tech stuff to stop getting in the way? Yeah, I was that person. Now is your time. It's your time to prove that your cutting machine was the amazing investment you always knew it was. It's your time to stop hacking away at other people's designs for good and time to start creating your own. And these are just designs I've created. I'm no technical whiz, but if you're just, you know, excited by the machine, then you can do this if you just break outside of design space. It's your time to learn how to make anything you want on your Cricut with the guidance of a step-by-step system. Now remember, nothing I've shared with you today is theory or ideas. These are all things that me and my clients have done to conquer the craft and crafting files market. I don't have any advantages or special skills or any secret tools or access to expensive resources, just glue, paper. I just have a system that works, and if I can do this, I genuinely do promise you can too. Introducing cutting machine magic. Gosh. Yeah, it really is all you need to master your Cricut for once and for all. Meet Alice, who says Natalie is a wonderful teacher. She really takes you through each process step by step. I now feel fully confident in creating my own designs. And Julia says, Natalie's clear and easy to follow instructions showed me how to make SVG files in a really straightforward way. I can now make any design, create any design I want. So if you join Cutting Machine Magic, what you'll get is 5 modules, and they're really action-packed modules, I promise. I mean, today felt pretty action-packed, but you'll get templates and resources. You'll get checklists and cheat sheets, and I didn't even mention that you'll get lots and lots of files to make great stuff. Like all of the pop-up cards, we've got lots of customizable pop-up cards, and but we've also got like the elaborate pop-up cards that you don't necessarily want to customize. We've got video and audio training and access to our community. What you'll create and achieve by the end of our time together, you'll have made lots of amazing projects, definitely. You will be fluent in Design Space and Inkscape or Illustrator, both of them if you want to. You'll be able to create your own unique designs that you can share and sell or just use. They certainly will belong to you. And you'll also have creative confidence. So module 1 is shapes, and this is the butterfly mobile that I think people have mentioned earlier. And so module 1 is, right, this is not like a dry theory course. This is like you're going to be creating projects from like the very, very start, using shapes and just getting to grips with it. So it's like it's designed so that you can start whatever skill level you're at, but you will really, really progress. And so in module 1 shapes, you'll learn how to use shapes in Design Space, Inkscape and Illustrator. You'll find out how to create banners or bunting in any style, and how to make, well, just amongst other things, and how to make a customized mobile like this one. This is butterflies, but I've made this with circles. I've made it with bunting. Woohoo! Yeah, I've made it with spaceships, dinosaurs, all sorts of things. But if you're using like butterflies, you can make it sort of 3D. So module 1 is shapes, but that's an essential part of getting the hang of any sort of designs after that. And this is designed so that you learn without even realise how brilliant is that to just learn by making the project. It's like you don't even feel like you're messing around with technical stuff. So the next thing is text. Oh, sorry, this is all happy birthday. It looks like a party module. And you will be able to do tons of party stuff with this, but this just happens to be the thing that I selected. So you'll find out where to find great fonts, how to add embellishments to your text. Like if you look at this top cake topper, you'll see there's lots of swirly bits underneath. And it's one thing to use those, and it's just, you have to just figure out how to use. I'll show you exactly how to add all of these swirly bits. Not just from a technical point of view, but from a design point of view, as in what works, what joins up if you're using a Cricut and your party module, yeah. So we'll learn how to find the great fonts, how to get the most out of them and use all of these embellishments. The big thing that is a struggle if you've got a Cricut is creating offsets and shadows. It's so hard to create an offset and a shadow in Design Space. I've seen so many bizarre hacks that are really, really complicated, and if you just use Inkscape or Illustrator, and it will take you no time at all, you can create these great offsets and shadows, and they're really, really accurate, and you can use them for all sorts of things. But also a big thing, and I don't think I stressed this enough earlier, when you use fonts in Illustrator or Inkscape, you see them exactly as the designer intended them to be. You don't have to move them together or move them apart. They're automatically in the right place. And that makes such a difference. When you're looking at a project, you can see it's so much more professional when it's where the designer, who spent years designing this font, you know, it's in the right place. So, and the other thing is how to create customized bunting, banners and cake toppers. And also all sorts of things like, you know, slogan SVGs, and there's a bit on how to sort of avoid copyright problems. You know, like a lot of people worry about that with certain phrases and things. And we've got some great ways of getting around that. There's no need to worry about that at all. Next, Module 3, images. Where to source images. How to clean and import images. A lot of people have a bit of a struggle with this one, and you might have to use another piece of software for that, but it will be free software. You could use Photoshop, you could use GIMP, but if you are bringing stuff in for SVGs, you know, if you wanted to create just like a vinyl version of a photograph or something, we'll show you how to clean that up so that you can do that, and then how to import it. How to get the most out of print and cut by, how to make personalised projects like this. This is, and of course the projects, the files come with the course where you can put anyone that you know into this car if you want to. But this happens to be my friend Kirsty and her husband Paul. But yeah, this is a cushion with them on, and their heads were created and put in this car by use of print and cut, which is a brilliant feature, but it can do so much more than this. Module 4 is pop-up cards. I love pop-up cards. All I'm worried about is that this pop-up cards module will never end, because I will continue building it up forever. Like the pop twist card we did earlier and the swing card we did, if you saw any of the live streams, they're just 2 types of pop-up cards. I'm going to share with you 5 more templates that you can use to make different types of pop-up or mechanised cards, you know, that cards that do things. It could be that you open them and one image turns into another and all sorts of things like that. But you will also get the files for at the moment it's just 3, but it might be more than that. You'll get the templates for the piano card and this 3-tier kit. Nobody else online does these files for the Cricut. These are unique, and I have sold these files, but you will get these files and you will get what I've never done before, which is a really in-depth step-by-step instruction video for each of them, because I think people get put off by, you know, it's like you give people these files and you can also write about them in a text document. There's a world of difference between actually just going through it as you make it, and that's what I'll be doing for this course. There will be just, and you know what, if you want any more pop-up cards that you've seen, I'm so happy to try them. I love pop-up cards. Did I mention that I love pop-up cards? Because I really do. Okay. 5, I struggle for a name for this, the cutting edge, and it's a terrible pun. And but this is really for things that I find really exciting, but we haven't covered in the other modules yet. It's like how to think outside the box, because I think a lot of people just make the same things. They'll make like slogans for plaques or t-shirts or stuff like that. And for this, I really want to look at different sorts of materials. And so I want to make imaginative projects with interesting materials. Now, if you look at this slide here, the top one is cut from just chipboard with a knife blade. Lisa, you don't need to be a certain level to be able to make the files. It's designed so that, like, the initial modules are just like totally, I'm just looking for more adjectives. But I just complete beginner things, and it's designed so that you sort of learn without realising it. I didn't want it to be, this is how you learn fonts, this is how you learn this. I wanted it to be just hands-on experience, because I think that's the best way that you learn. But you will be making projects from the very start, but you don't need to have any knowledge at all. And also, my one-on-one guidance is there all the way through, and I'm really always happy to help. So sorry, I'm going back to this. Imaginative projects with interesting materials. Yeah, the one at the top. You do not need a knife blade to make most of the things out of this course, but because I want this course to expand and expand, and it really will expand, I'm going to include everything that you can possibly do with the Cricut. And that includes the knife blade. If you want a knife blade, or I mean, you might have the Explore, you'll still get loads out of this course if you've just got the Explore. But the knife blade, if you've got a knife blade, you can make key rings like the one at the top. It's like sort of a new home gift. It's got like two heart-shaped key rings that slot into it and pull out of it. The second item there is a mug that looks really, really tired until you pour boiling hot water in, and then it becomes awake. So that's using different sorts of material too. That's using thermochromic pigment, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. And then the one at the bottom is, I mean, it's not very seasonal, but it's a Christmas charm bracelet. And oh God, I love this. This is using shrink plastic. You can make so many amazing things and charms with shrink plastic, and the effect is great. But you can also make personalized things. You could make charm bracelets with members of your family on them, or anything like that. And so we'll definitely be covering all that too. And extreme layering. I haven't mentioned layering so far. There'll be lots and lots of practical lessons about things that people get stuck with, like layering. And I haven't mentioned this at all, but flowers, everybody wants to make flowers, and we're going to make all of the flowers that you want to. And yeah, projects with thicker materials. So those are the 5 modules. Right, so this course is happening, and there is a fast action bonus. If you sign up today to Cutting Machine Magic, you will get our full paper cut alphabet, which I sell for well, over $30, and it's really, really popular. It's a really good thing that you can just have a normal letter-sized piece of paper, and you just slide it in, cut an initial out, and you can sell these. You can sell these cut out. You just frame it, and you can sell it at a craft fair. It's sort of personalised stuff, and again, butterflies and flowers. So yeah, if you sign up today, you will get our full paper cut alphabet with this. So join us now. Use the link on this page in this thread to register, which I haven't actually shared. Wait a minute, I don't know how to share this link. Oh, Lisa says, I haven't done flowers, but I want to. Sorry, I just think I need to find it. Yeah, I'm going to put the link in the thread, okay? If you want to sign up, the link is here. It's that, okay? So join, yeah, are you ready to master your Cricut is the question. What's the investment? Okay, so just as a comparison, Cricut Access costs, well, if you sign up yearly, I think it's $119.88, but I think it might be the same in pounds, or $95.88 a year. But of course, you really are only renting those designs, and once you sign up, you can't make those designs again, and you certainly can't share them or sell them. If you were to learn Adobe Illustrator, then, like, I looked at my local evening courses, they weren't $300, they were £300 plus. But they were beginner courses, and also, like, if you wanted to learn intensive, that would take a long time. Inkscape courses are really rare, and they're very expensive. But I think the thing about it is that, again, like my sewing course, you need to just be able to focus on exactly what you want to learn. You don't want to learn weird effects that advertising agencies are interested in. You just want to learn what will get great results for you on your cutting machine. So, Harry hiring me as your one-to-one coach would cost, sorry, that I don't like talking about that. Let's just say, you know, it'll be a decent amount, and you know, if you do join this course, you will get me as your one-to-one coach, and I'm on call to answer any of your questions, but I can't, anyway, but you can enroll today for just $97, depending on tax. But yeah, it should be $97 unless you're in the UK. So join us now. The total value of all the training templates, files and resources in this program is, well, again, it depends on depends on how you value my coaching. I would say that it's priceless, to be honest, obviously, but it would save you a lot. If you think about it, you can create infinite amount of files. If you imagine you'll never have to buy an SVG file from anywhere else again, you don't need to subscribe to any training, you can sell your own files. To me that's a huge deal. But also, if you want to sell physical items, you don't have to worry about copyright at all. You'll be completely free of any concerns about that. And also, if you've got like a craft fair, I find that a lot of people are worried that everyone's selling the same design that they are. And the same online. It's like you end up in a race to the bottom with prices. You don't need to do that. If you can design your own stuff, you don't need to do that. But as I say, I think that creating digital products, just create the thing once and sell it again and again, is such an amazing thing to be able to do. And you do need to learn this software to be able to do that. So anyway, join us now. Join the link on in this thread to register. That's the link there. The final step, you'll be led to this secure checkout using PayPal or credit card. You'll immediately be able to log into our members area, but this $97 is an early bird price. This is the beta. This is the last time this will be so cheap, okay? There isn't much in there now because it's just more or less hello at the moment, because this course starts on Monday when the modules are released. There will be more files put in tomorrow, just sort of about getting to grips with signing into the software and all the things that you need to get ready for this. But everything will start on Monday, and with the shapes module that will show you how to make this mobile and loads of other stuff. Yeah, join us now. $97, I still think it's a bargain. I know you might have some questions. I'm struggling with design space, let alone anything else. Sorry, this is a bit blurry as an image. D was tech-phobic once. Now I can use Inkscape. I realise it's much easier to use than design space, and that's so true. Certainly when you're using fonts, it's so much easier. Making my first simple, unique design was enough to motivate me to learn more. And again, that's exactly what I do with the sewing patterns. It's if you really want to make that, it's the best way to learn. You learn almost without realising it. So, next one. I don't have any experience with graphic design software. Can I still get the most out of this course? Sandra had that same fear. Not only did working with Natalie mean I had no end of new unique designs to sell, I now host Cricut parties in my local community. And that they need to catch on. I would like to go to a Cricut party in my area. I'm not really sure I can do this. This is Lisa, who expanded her crafting repertoire. I went from being a complete newbie to being able to sell items I make. So do join us now. If you join us now, you get the fast action bonus, and you just join up with that link there. And that's the fast action bonus you get just from being here today, and that will be open for, I would say, well, it's going to close shortly. So, but that's everything that I was going to say today. But please, has anyone got any questions about this or anything else? And there might be a delay, so. And you know, anything, please just ask anything, and I'm happy to help. I mean, I'll wait for your questions, and hopefully someone will ask something. But before then, I just want to say that, going to try the link. Thank you, Karen. If you are using, right, sorry. If you want to use Illustrator and Inkscape, you can't really do it on your phone or your iPad, really. I mean, I would find it impossible anyway. I'm rubbish with my phone and I'm not so great with the iPad either. Yeah, Elaine, I will send you, I will give you the link. Let me. Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. Sorry, yeah, I might have to send you this when I've finished talking, because every time I click on something it all goes wrong. But Elaine, I will reply to you about that link. Yeah, I will send that link with the template. Will I be able to cover printing on fabric at any point, please? Catherine. Oh, yes. Well, it depends what you want to do. You can definitely do HTV. HTV is so easy, but there's different ways of doing it. You can print on HTV, which is that sort of car cushion thing that I did, that sort of style. But you can create things that you layer, but you can also do screen printing on fabric using the Cricut, and I'm keen to try that. I haven't tried that yet, but if you are interested, or rather putting vinyl on fabric. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's tons of putting vinyl on fabric. Yeah, loads of it. Sorry, I'm going to go back. So that was very rude of me. I'm just I'm not in the screen, am I? Yeah. I'm back again. Okay. Yeah, sorry. The thing that I was saying is that you can, if you want to use Illustrator and Inkscape, you're not going to get much out of this, because you can't use Illustrator. I think you can use things like screen printing. Yeah, love it, Catherine. Yeah. Yeah, you can use things like Affinity Designer if you're using the iPad. I don't use that. This will teach you design principles that you can use in that, but seriously, I wouldn't really recommend you signing up for this if you are using an iPad or a phone, because this is like really getting into this and designing things. So, Christy. Hello, Christy. So, any more questions? I'll just wait for a minute and, try to think of anything else that occurred to me. If you make this card, I would love to see it. Can you use MacBook? Yes, you can. This computer in front of me now is a MacBook, and it's a brilliant thing, and yes, you can use MacBook. And Angela, will the classes be at a certain time? No, they won't. It will be released, and the classes will be released, and then you can just do them in your own time. It's completely up to you when you want to do them, and I'm completely on call all the time to answer your questions and to chat to you if you need help with anything. So don't worry about the time that it's released. I know that with all these live streams it's tempting to talk about times, but no, any time you want, the classes are here, and you will also have complete access, lifetime access, access for the life of the course. I'm not immortal, sadly, but as long as the course is going, you'll have access to it. And every time it will never be as cheap as this again. And every time it's updated, you will have access to all of those updates. So, how long is, Lisa asked how long the introductory price is available for. It is available until Friday. Friday, it's going to shut down on Friday, but if you sign up now, you will get the free, you'll get my papercut alphabet free. So I'd encourage you to sign up for that today to get that bonus. But it will be $97 till Friday, midnight Friday, and then it will never be that price again. So if you are going to sign up, I really would encourage you to do that. And the papercut alphabet is great, honestly. Put so much into that. So, I don't know if there's any more questions, but... Anyway, right, I don't know, I don't think there are any more questions, but God, thank you so much for being here today and for coping with any technical malfunctions. most of all, thank you to everyone that said to me, look at your desktop, when I completely lost what I was doing. I really hope that you will try and make the card. Well, I hope you will join the course. It would be really brilliant to see you there. And if you want to join the course, it's in the thread. Wait a minute, I'm just going to put it in the thread again. I've just put the. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Right, I've just put the link here in the thread again. If you want to join, it's there. Can't get the link to work. Oh no, that's no good. Oh, brilliant, Lisa. Can't get the link to work. That's no good, is it? Oh no, what's happening with the link? Karen, what's happening with the link? That's no good. Oh, anyway. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks so much for joining me. And oh, thank you, Judy. And I'm going to add to this after. Sorry, once I've switched this off, I'm going to send the link for the Pop Twist files. It's actually Jeannie. Thank you. The link isn't clickable. Oh no. That link isn't clickable, is it not? Can you copy and paste it? Oh, Angela opened it in a new tab and didn't have any problems on Chrome. Oh, thank you. You know, I should be making it easy. Oh, is that working though? That link might work. Maybe that link works. I'm not sure. Anyway, if you do struggle, let me know and I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out somehow. I mean, you know, if the microphone, we got over the microphone thing, I'm sure this is possible. But anyway, if you, I will also update this. Oh, fantastic! Thank you, Christy. Yeah, I will send you all a replay. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, brilliant, Carrie. Yeah, sorry, I'm going mad. I'm just so confused by these screens. I will be sending you a replay, and I will also send you. Thank you so much for attending. I will send you the link to the Pop Twist template and the replay. So if you want to make that card, it's there, and you can make it. You can customize it to anything, and for any occasion. And do contact me if you have any trouble with that at all. But oh, Lisa can't click on phone. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lisa. I'm sure that. Right. Oh, okay. Well, I'll contact you, and I'm sure we'll find a way around this. But anyway, if you want to get your free bonus of the paper cut alphabet, then do try and join in the next. Right, I'll leave that open for another half hour. But I mean, if you did want to join and you said so in this thread, I will certainly make sure that that bonus is open to you for having attended today. So please do let me know if you have any trouble at all, and I'll make sure I arrange that for you. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a brilliant week, and speak to you soon. Bye. Oh, Carrie says you most likely have to have a computer to click on it. Maybe. Yeah, I'm sorry about that though. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye now because I think you've probably had enough for me for now. Anyway, hope to speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't forget to send me what you make with your cards. Okay.